Yes, okay, so before coming here, I actually thought that this program was going to be a waste of time. Reason being that a lot of people are not authentic. They just, they are in it for the money and it shows. So they just go and get some books, put together some quotes, and then start picking out things that you can just do online and then figure out for yourself. So I thought it was going to be one of those kind of programs. But right on very Thursday, I could start to see that there was actually something different here. Because I could see that, even of the instructors, the heart was in it. The desire to actually pass information across for the betterment of us as leaders. And, personally, before coming in here, there are a lot of concepts that I believe that I had understanding of, right? But one of the things that struck me and has kind of just stayed in my mind throughout the whole program is the fact that as a leader, I need to get comfortable becoming anonymous. It's one of the things I heard. And, when I first heard it, I didn't really digest it until, 3 months later when we went through everything, starting from self-leadership, to eventually we digress to managing people and all of that, and it became very obvious. It's something that requires humility, because before now, I'm used to be the best where I am. Have to be the best. And I felt also that with leadership too, you would also need to be the best. Let everybody be able to point to you as that focal point and then draw people to that level. So, I've seen the problem with that kind of approach. I've also seen the need to be able to, something you said this week too, about being able to raise other leaders. I used to feel that if I'm not around and things are going haywire, then it's a proof of my competence that you need me to be here. As a staff, maybe, but as a leader, that's a bad sign. Because, like you said, if everything doesn't go right where I am when I'm not there, then maybe it's because I need to always be there. So, the entire program has kind of, even things, there are things I had completely go through how they factored into the leadership process, I was able to understand. And then even the things that I did, I was able to see from a completely different light. Also the practical aspect of it too, it was really good. I'd have preferred if there were less assignments. Yeah, but all in all, it was a transformative experience. And I live here, I live here fruits from. So let's say that.
Even though that most of all those little details and the stories you share, they actually stuck with me personally, and I relate more with them. Even without having to open my book, they stuck with me. And when I said it is revealing for me, I was just looking forward to just a regular training that we would attend, we would go, few assignments would come up, every little detail connected, and one was leading on to the other. So I could see, personally I could perceive the originality in it, and I could see the flow. And that is something I learned personally, apart from the whole leadership training, that I don't just do things for doing them. It has to be deliberate, and I have to be conscious of it. I also learned some things that some facilitators do not do. I was paying attention to it from the last session. I just see that some of the team members here, they go. I didn't know that there were signals that were being sent. It was if not until last session that, okay, I now observed. But it wasn't obvious. And I learned something from it because I love to talk. Probably because of the nature of my role. I love to talk. So I learned that. And the whole leadership thing is, let me share a story about one of the exercises I tried. The trust exercise. It was revealing one way because I was able to learn that as much as I believe that my team was doing well, I also learned certain things from them, and it put me on my toe that, things are not all that the way I felt it was. If not for this training and the lessons and the activities we had to do, I may not have taken note of that, or that may not have happened. But these exercises, as tough as they were, really, it helped. It really helped, and personally, I'm not still going to stop. I'm still going to try doing the ones I can. And I know that it will be just one step at a time, but I will put my conscious effort into putting all of those things. It was tough. At times, you have to go out, come back in the evening, and you still have to put your head into everything. It was really tough. But my summary is just that, gold is not forged by just removing it from the oil and you throw it there. It goes through fire. So the whole exercise has been tough, demanding, having to combine it with our day-to-day job, but it has been a wonderful experience for me.
Thank you very much.
Like Jesse said, for me it has been very insightful. It has been mind-opening. I felt like I knew a lot of certain things about leadership, but this actually made me know that you're not there yet. You still have a lot of work to do. And I have actually applied, if not almost everything that I learned. Like as I go back to work, I always try to apply it. I'll give instances. Like before, when I do something that is wrong, I don't apologize for it. I just find a way to get myself out of it, and that's it. But these days, I'm always taking responsibility. I own up for the fault. If I am at fault, I own up to it. I have actually been more vulnerable than I've ever been to my team in general. And it has actually helped because I felt I knew my guys to certain levels, but this has actually opened even to the other team to open up to me as well and just learn. And the guys have actually been able to share ideas that they had that I might not even have taken, because I always like my own idea to lead and all of that. But I've learned that your idea might not just be it. You can get better ideas from every other person in the team. And that has actually helped us. Suggestions have come out that it has just helped move the team forward. We're not gotten to a place where we want to be, but I know that we're working very hard to get to that space. We're more trusting of each other than we used to be. And learning, like Jesse said, you wanting to be in the forefront of everything. I'm very, very hardworking, a workaholic, and I like my work to be seen. But these days, I'm learning to put my guys first. Let's appreciate everything they do. If somebody has done something, I don't take the glory for it. I state it out that, oh, this is beautiful, this is what you have, this person has done, and everybody tends to appreciate that person, and that person is able to open up more or bring in more ideas. So I've experienced team up before, in the retreat, but this was really intense, and it was great, and I hope that I'm able to keep up with it moving forward.
It's okay to cry. I'll be crying.
All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
This program has been really. I came into this program and I knew that I had a lot of lapses. I had a lot of things to work on personally. But first off, I would appreciate ESL for every opportunity that has been given to lead. And that is the reason why I was part of this program. Because without the opportunity, I wouldn't have been selected to be among those coming for this leadership training. So
At the beginning of the program, one very first thing that stuck with me was willingness to be anonymous, right? So, going by the nature of what I do, you always want it to be in the eye of, like, you want your work to be in the eye of everyone, and silently you want to hear feedbacks and possibly have some, remarks that will caress your ego and all that. When I heard that you must be willing to be anonymous, I probably did not understand until yesterday when we talked about humility, right? Because you could be, humility is a strange thing, right? And humility is such that you don't know, you probably would have lost your humility when you begin to seek recognition for it. So yesterday when we talked about humility, I realized that you could be humble in silence, like silently you are wishing and you are eager to hear all of the sweet comments and all of that. So I realized that by virtue of what I do, being humble will mean being ready to allow someone else, take on a design for a project, even though I'm going to oversee it, but allowing the praise and everything go to that person, not so eager to assume the position of the owner of the product. So I learned that yesterday, and I feel, this is one major key to take away from me, and I'm going to practice it. And I'm also going to learn to allow my team members, make mistakes. Because in the last article we debriefed, we talked about allowing your team members. We talked about assigning or delegating tasks when we're talking about delegation, and the problem with whenever, for example, when there is time constraints, when there is need to deliver quality products and all of that. So I realized that I can practice all of this, assign tasks to my team members and allow them make the mistakes and also learn from it. So another key takeaway was the results of the personality profile test. It was, as I said, for me it's revealing because I can see, it's as if I've been emasculated in a way, right? Yeah, I see myself in the mirror and I'm seeing my weaknesses. For designers, basically, if there's anything that we have to deal with, I know other people too deal with it, but for designers particularly, there's this, syndrome called, imposter syndrome, when you are not feeling, you're just feeling not good enough. And that is consequent on the fact that the nature of what we do is progressive in nature. If you are going to design a product today and they give you that same product in 3 months, you want to do it much better than what you did the last time. So you're always looking back at what you did last, and it's always as if it's not, so it's a continuously moving target. So in praise of the incomplete, that made me realize that, man, cut yourself some slack, right? This thing is a continuum, right? It's a continuously improving or improvement program, or whatever you choose to call it. So all of these have stuck with me, and I have been practicing some of them. And for me particularly, the key takeaways, lessons from this leadership program transcends beyond the 4-1 of ESL to marriage, right, and family life, where we talked about projecting yesterday, and I'm like, wow. It touched every one of us without...
You won't believe what happened. Somebody in this class that you will never believe sent me a template and said, T-Mac, is this a good template for this same person that will never do assignment 11, 12 in the night? I said, sure. So this, I won't mention the name of the person.
I didn't
mention him on this name.
Let us pretend we don't know.
Don't know. Go on. Go on. My eye is not looking at anybody. Go on. Just go on. Alright,
so I mean, I've attended. Shots
Please
fired.
go on. Sorry for the distraction. Go on.
Alright. So, yesterday, talking about budgeting, it was like you were touching the core of our fabric, like hitting us at the very core. And we've attended not. I can speak for everyone here. I know we've attended a couple of trainings, but none has been so life transforming. And I believe that we owe ourselves the duty, to improve on all area of our lives and not just, within the workplace. For me, family, it's like everything that was just said was just like, see your report cards. And we also did the four-wheel, what we call that?
Wheel of life.
The wheel of life. And my own was just, I got the tires as But if there's anything I took away from it, sincerity, right? The first step towards liberation for any man is admitting the situation, right? So I realized that, man, no caps, right? This is who you are. You want to do so many things, and because you also want to make it perfect, you want to have it perfect, you tend to you lose out in the long run, because in pursuit of perfection, you may not meet up with required timeline. In pursuit of perfection, you will be juggling so many things that would not turn out incomplete at the end of the day. So I've learned delegation. I've struggled with delegation all along, because I always want to do it myself. I believe, I am cross-functional by virtue of my, skill set. I can do a couple of things, and I always want to try to do it myself. But now I'm learning to trust. You talked about the seed of trust as being fragile, right? So I'm learning to trust and being open to, allowing people make mistakes. I remember the major thing I said was, as part of my goals from this training is, all of the skills I need to build a design community, right? At the beginning of the year, the main thing that was in my mind was, knowledge sharing. As I learn, I share, and that way I will be able to, impact on people who also want to join or follow or to be part of. Because I've had people reach out to me who want to learn this one or who want to learn that. So I've realized that people management, emotional intelligence, being ready and willing to be anonymous are the key takeaway, and being sincere with yourself. So right now I can see all of my weaknesses, and if there's anything I'm going to do after this program, I would go back, list out all of those things, because I want to track my improvement. I know the year is almost gone. I want to see how better I'm going to be, with budgeting. Yesterday, it just kicked my mind, probably because of the way I was feeling. I was like, I'll get to talking about budgeting. I know I've had this with my wife, and we already practice a bit of this, but I'm still lagging in many ways or many areas on this or within this particular area. So I was like, okay, I'll speak with my wife. First of all, try some of the lessons I've learned. Start practicing it from the home front. Also apply it within my my team and every area of my life, because I really want to be an all-round. I really want to be an all-round, self-disciplined, self-improved leader. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Given my trial knowledge,
Yes, go on.
given my trial knowledge, personality and experience, so when it's entering, to me it was like this thing is a distraction. Even the things I know that I feel, like I'm using the word feel now, and I'm using that word feel because of the interaction I've had with you. And my personality is, once you give us something to do, I will do my own. If you like do it, if you like don't do it, life is fine. In fact, that's my slogan, and that's but this training has taught me that even though what will become in life is a combination of the choices you make and the ones you refuse not to make, there are still things you have responsibilities, and that's what you. It's not like I didn't have that knowledge, but you made that sink in a very, very different way. And in sharing your experiences, I think for me the summary of the training is this academy is trying to build a total person, in all ramifications. I'm not sure it's possible for someone to pass through this training and you wouldn't see either consciously or unconsciously, you see positive changes in your life. Because with respect to responsibility, leadership, you can't be a good leader. The trainer also taught you that there's a difference between being a leader and being an occupant of a position. There are two different things. The trainer also taught me that part of this I'm taking away is, if you are waiting for perfection, it will never get done. And at the same time, that's not to sacrifice excellence. So another lesson I learned is for the facilitators. Most times when you are training, the other participants will sit like students and they will take notes and they will then just like that you go in the space at that time and not only you want to talk, they will say if someone wants to say something, they will say why not share despite your what and despite the word of the fact. So it's a so what the training has done for me is to kind of demystify whatever knowledge I thought I had about leadership and the way I did my life, and to actually say you can actually be a very simple person and at the same time not be a mediocre and at the same time not be someone who compromises. That's what the training has taught me. It's actually possible for you to always watch out for your teammates or team members and they know that excellence is still the hallmark. So I want to appreciate there's something you said first today, that it's not every organization that we can kind of investment in this level of exactly this level of either of staff. And so I think I appreciate how you done the organization for this opportunity because I don't know if you're going to say it or whether you use in the long run, the ultimate beneficiary of this training is us and not TSL in the long run. Because whatever deposit we made into our person or lives, wherever we go to, is going to reflect in our family life. So you talk a lot of things and another key thing is vulnerability. You made it look like vulnerability is not a disease. You try to make a good link between authenticity and vulnerability. That you can be vulnerable and you are still authentic. It doesn't mean you are sick. It doesn't mean you have an ailment or something. But when we now, the climax was when we talked about the case completely, and I was like, how can you be celebrating? Something like how can you be celebrating something? But during the case, we know that we are all work in progress. We are all work in progress, and at time, a lot of things not resting on your hours. And so for me, it's been a plus. For my only recommendation would have been if you can close the safely or so that at least you have 2 hours to do your thing, not that
as on a daily basis.
Yeah, not that you just go traffic, you get to 8, 9 and you try and you are just shut down and people are bombarded. That is why we are bombarded with messages while in the training. Because things that at least you have done maybe the previous day, they are not saying that. But all given the circumstances, for me personally, it's a good one. It's not a waste of time. It's not a waste of time. I'll say kudos to the team and the reflection of what you are teaching us is our experience of interaction with your team members. Because if you were authentic, if you were lying, one way or the other, within these 12 days, it will have shown, you will have heard your team members screaming on themselves, I would have seen them act in a non-professional way. But for me, I didn't experience that. For the few persons that we had contact with, even when personally I noticed a day when they were to be on vacation, but probably because of, I was joking one and I was telling you that she should tell you that you've rubbed off on her. So it's the way we've seen your team shows that for the academy too, we are very authentic and sincere. It's not only about the money, because one way or the other, I've seen it in the way you shout at those who you fear. But it means what you are teaching us is what you practice and it goes a long way. TMAC will not be the #1 media house, consultancy firm in the noise or in the media, but for those of us that have passed through this, we know what the recommendations would be, and we've come in contact, and for me, it's not been a waste of time. It's been a very good, and I'll say, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Makanaki. Please.
Yes.
I want us to hear what is
So, I'm not saying I'm old, but since T-Max first introduction to ESL, they introduced T-Max to ESL proper. I've been here, and I was here since T-Max first became trained with us. And the training, you would know, was different. I'm not attending a lot of trainings, but I don't have to a couple of people that they raise the standard. Any of that training I go to, it gets so boring immediately. When I say that it's not reaching this level, I feel like, oh no, this now, and so like that. It's not like I'm not saying some of them are training, so I mentioned
that boy. You shall have to say that one.
You know, there are some people that will explain some things to you. You would know it before, but then it now feel like you didn't know it before. Someone can take an equation that you've done a lot of times and explain that equation to you, and you feel like, so you think I didn't know this thing. So that was what this training was like. A lot of things that were introduced to us. I think that we feel we know, we feel we are practicing, and we realize that there's a long way to go. There are a lot of things we need to do. And one thing I appreciate, or one thing I don't appreciate, let's have it more than I don't appreciate, is that people you don't see the effort you put. The assignment side of it, see, people can understand. I'll say people can understand because I actually put in the effort. I do a lot of all these things. I do it on a very daily basis. On the first day I said I wanted to create an equation project for my team. It's a work in progress, but right now my team it has reached the level I saw it reaching then, and now I know that there is a lot more we can do because I've really played with them. I really want to be. I know Siri will have seen the changes now. Like all the things I said in my 19, I want to put them on because I have things like I wanted to do, but I didn't have the ability to do it. And now I have the ability to do it. Now I'm in a place where I can do it, and I want to do it. And I'm always this. I'm a very loyal person, and I'm a very loyal person. If this is my person, this is my person, and I've always been like that. People that have been here, people that have known me since forever will know that. And a lot of people here have not met the real Dapo. They don't know the real Dapo. But I was never always like this. I was never always like this.
So what happened?
A lot of things. But we'll not get to that thing. So I shield my guys for a lot of things. That makes me have a lot of load as well. Because what I try to do is, I don't want these guys to experience the things that brought me to this level. So no matter how bad I feel, no matter how angry I feel, I try to portray this, you guys need to be happy. And I let them know it. Because all my guys are my friends. I'm your friend, but that doesn't mean that when time starts to get serious, I want them to get serious. So they're my friends. I can tell my guy that, how far now, Tolani, go and do this thing. I don't say no, I don't want one. That doesn't mean that if I say Tolani, do this thing, he will not do it. But he's free enough to talk to me like that. And I try to maintain that way because there's no reason why we are being too serious. And I believe that the world is a ever evolving world. We move from the days when everybody has to wear suits to where everybody is casually. So the form of organization changes gradually. And if you cannot create the idea you want to create, because in my head, I want to create the most comfortable thing. I want to create a situation where everybody just happy. Like everybody, when you're working, I'm not working because it's work. And I believe once something starts feeling like work to me, it gets annoying. And all through, that's always been like this was interesting. When I feel like work, but I try to make it to that way with my guys. Like you guys, this is not work, this is fun. We are enjoying working. Like we are just playing. That's what I try to make it. And while we are playing, we've been dropping products at least in the days. And
Don't distract.
yes, I don't see this class. It seems like we are rebels, But I don't know, I think I've had one-on-one conversations with everybody here.
Except me.
Okay, except them. I've had one-on-one conversations with everybody here. And I know that everybody in this class. I don't know about it. Actually, I know the people that are in the last set and all the last set. So I think it was it two sets, one set. These guys have the potential of doing a lot more. Like, and I like the fact that we are here in the time of crisis. So now is the time when you guys will really see the impact. So if you guys come here in the next 3 months, ask about this same set of in ESL, I'm sure you'll see a very significant difference. You talk to these guys are like this. These guys look like people that are willing to change. They look like people that are willing to invest the things that will be gotten from you into this organization. And I'm very emotional with TSL. I don't know, I invest in TSL a lot of times. But TSL is in a very emotional space for me. And I like the set of people that we have here. And I like that Timac has been with us for a long time. He has pushed us in the environment, which is interesting for me. And the food is a very big thing. The food is such an emotional part of me too. because to me, this week, so every time we do this thing, it's like vacation for me. Because the amount of things I have to do every day is crazy. It's very crazy. I almost never have free time. I guys will never believe it. I almost never have free time. And every time we're in this training, I'm like,
finally,
I just did to you. And it's not far from my house. I will just come here. I didn't even ask my money because I don't think about this thing. There's always expensive for me. So I just come here, eat free food, go back home. So even my siblings came around and they've been here for a couple of weeks before the training. And then I was like, that's how are you surviving? Like, what is all this? Like, all of this. And during this training, like, that this is the most energetic. We've seen you sing, and we've seen you play since we got here. Like, I had that extra energy to explain at home. So it's just been like that. And I really appreciate the program. Although there's always coma. I really appreciate the program. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I would like
Don't worry, you will not buy it. Trust me, there's no steak there that's going to come.
Alright. Okay, also first of all, when I heard that we're coming for a training like this, I asked some questions. And like, who's the facilitator? Where are we going to and stuff? So I think I asked I think it was Timac. I've experienced this one like twice during the retreat. I've actually been here for like 3 years. I don't know if you noticed me, but I know you're very strict. So I said, okay. Aside from that, I don't like coming for training like this. And the reason is, I need things like this one. I have to come outside. I have to answer questions. I have to do a lot of things. But all aside, I actually say this program has been transformative, that's transforming, and it has to be bigger. When I was growing up, I'm always ready for it. When it made me the team, we spoke. She said, yeah, I went to it. I'm not interested in this. She said, why? She said, I love being at the back. I don't like people to see me. She said, yeah, that's the reason why I want to be there. Because I noticed that you don't work. You're always hiding. So this time I'm sure I'm going to push you out. I said, okay. And then we're like 2 actually. 2 years, 2 years. So I was more of the front end guy. The other guy is like full stack, just back end front end. So I do most of the job. So, and we brought in new people, like 3 years strong. So we're like 6. So I have to like.
Family of 7.
So it's crazy. I think one has left, so we're like 5 people now. 1, 2, so we're like 5 people now. So, it's not easy because I'm always, what I just do is stand up. After stand up, I don't know, the guys should go and find what you just ask for you, like push the situation to the previous guy. Now, please reach out to these guys, let them know
What you want them
what
to
they want
do?
Yes. Most sincerely, for the past 3 months, so these have actually been happening in January because that's when they did it. There's a lot has actually changed. Especially that trust exercise. I gave back this. Thank God I did it because I actually heard a lot about me, about conflict, a lot of conflicts and conflicts in my life. So there's a lot. Alright. So I'll say this program has been demanding. Yes, demanding the way that before demanding, let me see, I've learned a lot. I've actually unlearned some things and I've actually relearned something. So the part of anonymous leader, it's kind of hard for me because, like I said, before these guys came, I've been going through these things. But when they came, I have to I believe that I have to take this task. And I don't like it, why? Because there's not much for me to do. And Dave, everybody like you, Dave. I'll say, I actually noticed that after dedicating this task to them, I realized that these guys obviously they are far better. Like they are very good and everyone can say because it was a designer. So I was like, wow. And I think because of their experiences and they have a lot of experiences. For me, I grew up in yourself. So I was like, oh, this is interesting actually because I thought I didn't know these guys actually. So I feel like that anonymous leader with me is something that how would I put it? I think I agree with it at first, but I realized that yes, it's for the betterment of the company. It's not like the selfish part of it, it's betterment for the company, betterment for the team. Yes, that's one. Number two, I've seen it's demanding because like I said, there's a lot of work to be done. And after the program, I'll say I was part of it that didn't do much of the assignments. And it was not educational. Because a lot of work. I did pass. I'm sure you saw some of my but I saw your response. I saw your response to my journal. I was shocked. I was shocked that you said thank you for sharing. I said I'm sure. So there's a lot. And because of the kind of person I am, I'm actually gentle. I don't like talking to
like a Gentile.
Yes. But I remember I wrote something that you had like issue with all of my team and I signed a task to him. He told me that I cannot do it. And I said why? He said because it's very difficult.
Okay. Please sit down.
And I said, okay. Now so what do you want us to do? He said he wants the team to come together and do it. I said that's not possible. Why? Because everybody has their answers. Yes. And I told him that that's the reason why it's not possible. The problem is to close the it. And he was like, no, you can't do it. But you try to do it and get back to me in 2 weeks. So he go back in the evening and said still not do it. And the way he was telling me, it was more like telling me that he was saying it on unpleasant way that yeah. And I felt like maybe because he saw that in retrospect I'm just kind of I won't do anything stuff. But that day I think I'm sure I changed it for him. I just told him that alright. So I was actually angry. I told him that okay, if you can't do it, I'm going to do it myself. that we can't do it, I was going to do this myself and I will not be assigned that to me. That's where I said that I'm going to like maybe somebody else will assign that. Like the way I spoke to him, I think he felt like this time or so. The next day, like this time, I said that's what I was going to do that day because that was the evening. Yes. Later, next day, stand up, said he has done it. And I was actually shocked. And I said, okay, how did you do it? The teams were like, how did you do it? How did you do it? I could do it actually. There was something I've done before. But he was not doing anything at that moment, so I gave it to him to do. Yes. And said, no, you did research, asked and stuff, but you could do it. So I realized that sometimes it's not always like the gentle parts, yes, you have to take some I've said I learned a lot actually. I might not be able to like express to see that things I've learned. There's been a lot. I actually want to appreciate you for this opportunity. But I never see myself as a leader. Nobody showing me with. I just told some of the things. When I was in school, if I have to come and present, presentation is something that I'm always running away from. Because I knew that test and exam combines. Daniel, you have to present something. You can't sit in school, so you can't sit in class. Because I'm very, very serious. So I want to thank you too for the knowledge sharing. It's been transformative. Yes. I'm actually surprised that
Thank you for sharing. I remember the speech day. He just did though, and he has learned that he can also walk sometimes. Tops.
So,
Right, thank you for the yeah. So for me, at the inception of the program, I was just an open book. I wasn't really expecting anything that one, keeping aside every other thing that I'm trying to deal with. So it's just I was just trying to work on myself to becoming more emotionally intelligent. But every other thing, I feel I have one knowledge somewhere, and then but it's not something I can put together. It's not solidified. I just want to just listen, be open, and see whatever comes out of it. But as the classes progressed, I realized that it was just helping me figure things out, things that I literally would not know how to go about them. For example, when I used to like working, I used to like quality, quality. You are trying to roll out a particular code base. You should follow a particular kind of structure. I don't like spaghetti code, things that you have to reuse and all those things. So when I was given this set of guys, like my colleagues, I used to look out for errors, and I used to get feedback too from people I report to that what's going on, we cannot accept all this and all. And then sometimes tasks would take up to 6 months, some 1 year, and it was something that I literally give up on some people. And then I just decided to start doing them all by myself because I don't want to expose. Those are the things that I just know somewhere. I just don't want to expose some certain people. I just try to cover up, take the old bullets and everything. I just decided that I would just start doing it all by myself. And I picked up some tags. I delivered them maybe in 1 week and all those things. But it was still not coming out as it's supposed to be. All because the whole workload was on me. I would just get on phone calls, I would get on the peer coding and all those things, and it was really became the better part of me. But I got the answer to this. It was just it was something I was getting gradually, but I really did not get what it was. I was learning to trust my teammates, and then I was learning to communicate more with them. But it was this week I really got the answer to that. It was just all about delegating and just explaining what these things are, and then you have to actually trust them. So what I did was I said all the things I'm supposed to do, and I started applying everything to everybody, and then I realized that I had time for myself. I would be on the road. The only thing I'm doing is maybe giving instruction on what to do, and then I'll get my way to sleep, have time for myself. I realized that people actually they know what they're doing, and they could actually deliver quality codes and all these things. So one of the things that I really got. And then taking back to my initial what I actually wanted to take home from this is being more emotionally intelligent. I used to be this kind of person that before you talk, I already know what's in your mind. I can read mind very fast. So the next thing I'll just be smiling at you because I know what you're going to say. So I realized that I was wrong. because I don't put myself in people's shoes. They can say something I really know, but the way they feel is different. They might be saying some things, but inside they have a different feeling. They have a different way of expressing. So I learned to listen more to people now, and then I learned to put myself in their shoe. So I feel what I wanted to pick out of this program, I got it, and then I'm still not too perfect, being a leader. I'm realizing this as time goes on. And then the fact that I already have details, I already have instructions, I already have things that can serve as a guidelines for me. When they show up, I believe I may not be too perfect in the when they show up, but I know that it's a work in progress. I'm going to get it, but I would be glad that challenges like this will keep coming at me. And then I'm very open and I'm welcoming mistakes. I want to make mistakes. Yeah, that's it. And then I want to appreciate the staff of Tima Consult. I see the teamwork is really the teamwork is really great. Some people are really doing the real thing to make this possible, but you don't see them. Yeah, that's kind of it.
TVN governor. The only governor without a state. Yes.
Okay, so for me, I would say this program is a well-rounded program, and it's interesting to me how the facilitators, how they touch on everything, I would say professionally and with high standard. For every question that we ask, they relate it to life experiences, and for me, it makes learning fun. When I was coming for this training, one of those training, academics and all, well, that is not what I got here, and I love the structure of the training. The first week for me I was still trying to, but by the time I got into the second week, when I got back home, I told like, oh, it's really getting interesting. So I like the structure of the training, and the follow-up is really a great one. You learn, and the way the facilitators ensure that you put into practice everything that you have learned is a great one for me. They don't just teach and then leave you to it. If you like, put it to use. If not, you're on your own. So they follow up. So the personal.
Did you hear that? Please say it again.
So I said I appreciate the fact that you follow up on everyone to ensure that what we learn, we put it to use. You don't just leave us. If you like, put it to use. If you like, don't put it to use. What's my own? I've collected my money. No, that's not the culture here. And it's a great one. And it's actually what I have proposed to make use of after this training, because truly speaking, we've learned a lot and lots. So it's now up to me to go back and take them one by one. So for this, what's the personal transformation plan for this? And then the weekly transformational journal will also be.
Fumi is saying she's going to keep sending me weekly transformational journal. Go on.
So how have you applied this? So it's a great one for me. And then, be heavy on people. I hear T-Mac say that a lot. For me, before now, I care about myself.
Your children.
Myself, every other person. But now I know that I should take responsibility for people I'm leading. I should be emotionally intelligent. Before now, if you're maybe moody or anything, I will not bother to do anything about it. So when you are okay,
you come around.
Alright. From this training, I've learned that I should get interested in people. And one thing that I've also learned is I shouldn't you know, when I see people react, I tend to want to interpret it. Why is this person behaving like this? So I tend to look at it from the angle, from a more positive angle. How may I help this person? Why is this person reacting this way? So I've learned that from this training. And also communication. I find it very difficult. I find it stressful, even when sending emails. But from this training, when I went through this training, each time I want to send an email to my team member, I'll read it and see if it will help her understand what I'm. So it's one of the areas that I've improved on. And also, I used to wonder leadership style in ESL. So after this training, I got to know that probably, you know, they got it from here, because where I've worked before, the leaders, you know, they are on top, they are the lords, they are the masters. They never make any mistake. And if you as a subordinate, if you make mistake, they will make you feel so terrible. But surprisingly in ESL, my superior, my boss, is fine, you know, it's okay. So what have you learned? What can you do differently? And you know, at times you see her also, she's vulnerable. She you know, and that was really something that I never encountered. But when I came here and I heard all that things, I said, oh, okay. And then I will say the book 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. I read the book. It's an interesting read, and it's also a good part of this program. And I also applied the learnings from that book. The exercise, it was so helpful. It helped me to know my team member more, and it also helped her to know me better. So many things that this program has been for me. And I'll say thank you.
Thank you very much.
I also enjoyed Dr. Blessing's class. So many things.
Younger brother
But I
is
think
graduating in Ife today, and their father is late, the mom is late, so she has to put up. Person, I need to call to see how her journey is going, so she's on her way to Ife. Bless you.
I thought you said, did you say her mother is here?
I said, that guy's, so he's a half brother, that guy's mother and father are both there. So she's the one here, she's the one that's
Where honorable mentions?
Yeah.
I also appreciate John.
Let's finish.
Okay.
Honorable mention.
There's no way we can talk about this program without
Honorable-
those guys are the guys doing the work.
Yeah, honorable mention.
When I come here, the only reason why I can stand here and shine and talk, if you've done slides before, you know that all these slides you are seeing on these, thanks for the editor-in-chief. But she also knows that to put those slides together, it's a whole lot of work.
Yeah.
I just come and do, hey guys, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. And if you know how demanding, those things you see one time, sometimes go through 6 reviews. So they're going to bring them out and people for John and recognize them. They are the people that drive the program. Yes.
Okay, so she handled the emotional bits, and thanks to you for allowing her to handle that. So it really helped me a lot. So she, you know, the way she relates it with our family life, so it has also helped me improve my relationship with my daughter and with my husband. So
We'll send extra invoice for that one.
That's extra service. Yes.
Yes, you know all the minors are supposed to minor for me.
so that will cover for it. She also said something that stuck with me. She said, delegate ruthlessly.
Yes.
So that has helped me. Before I used to, I don't have energy to start reading through, to start correcting. So that makes me tend to do a lot and, you know, get overworked. But after this, going through this class, so when I see my task, I say, okay, let me push this to my team member. So I get to push out a lot of things, and then I can't remember his name, the other Mr. Oduola. So he also mentioned, he said, don't major in minor. So that also has helped me a lot. So things that you can delegate for others to do so that you can concentrate on
the things that they cannot do for you.
Yes, so that has also been part of the things I have applied. Lots and lots and lots.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Shion first.
Okay, Shion first. Yes, you. Don't let them over admire you and then the admiration will not disappear. Yes.
Okay, so before I came to this training, or before I joined ESF, I had attended the leadership training. And then I joined ESF and then all was like, we're going for this leadership course. They were talking about Tina, he's a good guy, he's a this, I'm doing really well, he's you know. But and I was saying that, but I just did one in my organization, we never know to do one. Like I really had to go for this. But I just said, let me just go. And then I got here. And I can confidently say that the leadership training that I attended compared to this is like water and champagne. Whatsoever in being a part of this training, because right from you're coming in the morning, the whole mind sharing thing on onboarding, what did you learn the previous week? You just can't, even if you didn't go class, you just be forced to just bring up something, and then there's so much that I've taken in, and my head is saturated, my mind is saturated, and I've learned so much that I know that it's going to impact me for a lifetime. It's not just for this period. And I know I'm telling myself that I'll be doing myself and ESL a disservice if I do not put to practice what you can hide character, you can pretend 1 day, 2 days, but I mean, it's been 3 weeks with TMAC, and I know that there's no area of pretense. You are as in who you are, and then even in relating with the team, you are, as they said, a leader is a reflection, a shadow of a reflection of his team and all that. I know that TMAC is Jim, we cannot be paying his team so much, but the passion they put into the work, I'm not sure.
Did you know that? It's regarded though. Say in TMAC is in Jebu. You cannot be very staff so my uncle is okay. Go on. Please, let her finish.
The passion, the dedication, the joy, they're happy doing what they're doing, and it's just, so it just drives on the point that it's not always all about money. If you're a good boss, if you're a good leader, people want to work for you, they want to die for you, irrespective of whatever it is that they're doing. The exercises that also we did in the course of the training, conflict minding. When I was telling my team, as in when I got into SL, I think it was only Funke that sort of like one though. Even when I'm getting late to meeting, she'll be the one to call me. And then she'll just like, she's one that called me boss, but everybody will just like, any issues, they say no issues, everybody just walk away. But, the whole trust exercise, that was the first physical meeting I had with my team. And then I started. And, it was just like, I was just putting myself out there that this is me. My weaknesses, my strengths, everything, everyone was just looking at me. Somebody has to confirm, ask that. Is that real? Because I read out a profile that, my personality profile, and they were like, do you agree with that? I said that is 99.9% correct, and they were just like, looking at me. But, after that engagement, I got acceptance from the team. It was a transformation for me because, they now started calling me boss. I think it was people that didn't expect that thing that would call me boss. They started calling me boss. But it was a refreshing experience, and things have actually turned around with my team. What else? Yes, and then I said the planning. The way TMAC Consult has organized the whole training. From it actually presented. From starting from the known to the unknown, and just built up to the case study we ended with yesterday, the incomplete leader just sort of like drove home everything and gave me some sort of respite, because you don't have to have it all. You don't have to do it all. You know, and then he covered everything that we touched, you know, all through the training program, you know, from communication to visioning to storytelling, you know, innovating. It was just the perfect way to end, you know, the program yesterday. And there's this saying that, you know, your reputation actually precedes you. I want to say to Mark that you have nurtured and protected your reputation. As in, you're a great guy. And now it wasn't joking when he said, T-Mac. So I'm going to go out there and say T-Mac. So thank you very much to you and the entire team.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hey, Siri, Siri. Hey, Siri.
Hey, Siri.
Hey.
So, for me, this has been a journey, actually. And I say that because I just joined DSL. And this, first of all, this training helped me to get to know a lot of people. It was
Shorten the cycle.
Shorten the cycle. And then it helped me to understand things better. So prior to coming here, I've had my wins in my career, led teams. I have been, so if you notice, I'm seeing a lot of so it was a thing of, I've been like a superstar, worked in places, worked in promotions, like I'm just the song on everybody's lip. So I've enjoyed the spotlight, and so coming here and then first thing you tell me is, as a leader, you have to take the back seat. I'm like, how? What's happening here? Oh, and because I've been in teams where bosses would make you do the work and they'll take the credit. So they literally would not even mention you, and those things used to frustrate me. So I'm like, if you want to do the work yourself. But don't tell me to do the work and then go out there and take credit for the work and make it seem like I didn't do anything. And coming here, hearing all of this, I realized that it's okay to be anonymous. It's okay to let other people take the spotlight. It's okay to let other people win. And I've also realized that this program has made me realize that I'm one of my biggest critics. So I think I'm a little too hard on myself. So some of the times it made me realize that some of the pressures that I face is actually self-inflicted. And because I want everything to be perfect, I do not want to fail. I do not want to make a mistake. So I know it's somewhere in my head that they say mistakes are okay, they are good. But when it translates to a time when I do a lot of self-retrospection. I'll just tell you that. So, and it has, part of the session with Dr. Blessing helped me realize that it's okay to make a mistake. And don't always beat yourself for the things that you do not do right. It's okay to appreciate yourself when you do the things that you do some things correctly. And then also another highlight from this training for me is the fact that even if you've seen things done differently, done in a certain way, there's always room for improvement. So yesterday we were chatting about NPRs in banks and how that they are some of the most horrible experiences human beings can face in their working careers. You don't want to talk to bankers, people that work in certain banks, don't need to mention names. And I have seen scenarios, I've heard stories, grown men, family men crying in public because someone has humiliated them, insulted them to their core. I have worked with really terrible bosses that would insult you in front of a total stranger, would just rubbish you for nothing. And when you get to the root of the matter, they're actually wrong. They're totally wrong. They made the mistake and they will just throw you under the bus. You go to meetings and people will just throw you under the bus for no just cause. And with all of those experiences, sort of over time I realized it made me very defensive. So I'm like, I'm on my guard.
always watching, always guarding, almost lacking. So point is, I want to get it right. I don't want to make a mistake. So I don't want to give anybody any room to find me faulting or sleeping, whether it's someone reporting to me or someone I'm reporting to. But I've also realized that I'm not a superhuman. I'm not perfect, and that's what the case study yesterday really helped me realize, that it's okay to know that you're not the strongest at this. It's okay to know that there's room for improvement and to keep improving on yourself. And then talking about this, it has also helped me in relating to my team. So, because of my experience, I would usually say that I had some really not so nice experiences working, and I had bosses that were really, really toxic. So I found a blend. So previously, the Siri you know today was really very quiet. Probably we can do a walk from here to Oshodi and I would say a word. But I had to start learning how to talk, because I needed to speak up for myself. Because people were always taking advantage of me in the workplace. So I had to start speaking up for myself. And I went the extreme. So you see that I'm not doing it, or I'm doing it well. So I went the extreme. And so I also learned to put pressure, because I remember the strategy session when I was saying that I like the ESL culture. One of the other tech firms I worked, no name mentioned. If there's any issue, the F word will fly around with no mercy. It will just be dropping all these curse words and swear words would just be dropping without any control. And you should be like, is this a workplace or is this a gang meeting? But then what that does for you is that it almost makes you feel that it's okay to do it. It's okay to put that word, it's okay to shout at people, it's okay to do that. But this training has also made me realize that it's not every time. Yes, Orubebe should be in your pocket somewhere. That's not the first tool to bring out every time there's an issue. Sometimes you want to calm down and just let it slide. Some you want to just address, and so it's been really interesting for me. And then getting gotten. So it was last week, and there's a lot that is about to happen in a couple of weeks, family and stuff. And it was just getting to me, so I just sat in the living room and my wife said, what's the matter? I'm like, I'm not getting, so you're on board, tell me. And that's because we've done the getting. Yeah, so she was like, okay, on board, and I'm listening. No question, just listen. And so it struck like, oh wow, so I've rubbed this enough on, and so it just says that there's a lot. And then when you talked about so one of the things that I think we should not remove from this training is the personal experiences. They make the lessons stick even more. People can relate to certain portions or maybe the entire portion. So when you're talking about yesterday, budget, family budget, and how that your people's person will come to your house and like, see my life on this screen. because everyone has complained that why is it that your house always that everybody always coming to it, and it's like you don't see anything wrong in it. Even the people that are cooking the food, they're tired, they're stressed out, but you're like, just man, sorry. So I've learned that there should be a balance with things. So it's a well-rounded, and then one part that also stuck with me is the part of reprogramming your mind. Yeah. Realizing that your mind is really, really powerful. And then strategy is something that has also stuck out to me. And then also I also realized that that's why if you notice when we're talking about listening, I was asking a lot of questions, because I realized that like when people talk, I'm a little impatient, maybe because I feel like I know where this person is going, or it's like I'm listening to give an answer. So the course has helped me to calm down, listen without ego. I remember there's someone here, we had a conversation, and the person was demanding something from me, and I'm like, no, it can't be that way. Previously, by the time we're done with that conversation, I'll be upset, I'll be like, why is this person? But then, I wasn't upset at all, I wasn't moved. In fact, my eyes we were stuck on the goal, what the person was trying to say, and I realized, oh, this person was not trying to attack my person or anything, or my competence. The person was very clear, and the person was doing it with the most sincere intention. So that's something that there's so much I've taken out of this course, and I want to say that yes, I agree with you that, you said it the first day we came here that the course is intentionally crafted and created, everything leads up to the next, and truly at the end of this thing I've seen that you actually were very intentional in creating this, in crafting this, how everything leads to the other. The truth is, somehow, if you look at it really, if you had done maybe transformative leadership course, or the team management or people management before the other, maybe it would have worked, but maybe not, the impact would not have been felt as the way it is right now. So I want to say thank you to ESL for the opportunity to train with Team Consult, and then thank you Team Consult. I also want to thank all the facilitators and everybody, the people that were behind the scene. I enjoyed special privilege. But I'm really privileged.
Hey, off the mic. Thank you. Who you want? We are all done.
Alright, great. Good morning, everyone.
Morning, sir.
So,
How come you know your voice?
He has passed. That is 6 past, yes.
so the journey in this training has been very, I call it timely, I remember the first day coming here as a international because I've been to a number of these kind of events. I had an idea of what to expect. One of the things I did not expect was punctuality. The first day I came, I said, okay, this is it, challenge accepted, And so after the first class, I immediately knew that TMAC is a building because there are many people that do this thing online. The Larry, Bishola, Stanford, the Harris, and I've been to some of their programs. I've seen TMAC, I've seen TMAC is genuine article. A lot of them don't have the experience, the corporate experience that TMAC has, the understanding that TMAC has. All of them are mostly theoretical. They were mostly theoretical that ended up being practical. TMAC is coming from practical and giving you the theoretical side, and even spiritual. So that was very enlightening. And I remember the first day I was here, how I was showing signs of stubbornness. At the showed that yes, I can be stubborn at times. Where I insisted that if I do not get everything I want from this program, I will not make it, I will not sign. And so what many of you might not know is that TMAC has been, since the first week, I went to TMAC personal and I said, okay, there are one or two things happening in my personal life and my team that I like to mention. TMAC has really been coaching, like hands-on coaching. Sometimes I'll be on the call with TMAC, like for hours. And we'll be saying, okay, this is what's happening, this is how you do it.
I'll send the invoice after the program.
Yeah. So it's not just because I believe if you are going to learn something, you should try to apply it. And I've come to know in my life that theory is not always what it is. What you learn in the classroom might not always be applicable to particular circumstances. So that's been very nice. And in terms of what we learned here, the quality has been so top notch. Imagine that they knew as far as Cyprus, they knew as far as so many things.
Good. Please, I'm finished.
So, yes, I also enjoy meeting some people in competition, especially Dapo and his team.
after we lost the first competition, and we came back and we gave them a taste of their own medicine. You know. So everybody was like, that was very competitive, that was very competitive. So, you know, I think 1 or 2 people are sure that they are even more competitive. And they are bigger therapists than Dr. Emerson.
When you get back to the office, you can go and settle that story.
That was like
challenge accepted.
So, that was also very nice. So, and I picked up 1 or 2 things from there. The classes were very engaging, very, very engaging, very, very participative. And I like that there was no topic of the table. You know, so we'll be talking about one thing, we'll give another example, and we will then take off from there, showing how interconnected and all this journey of leadership really is. You know, and I like what we started with first, which was
It's working.
how
We are not even supposed to hear God.
how we started with self-leadership. That was very good, and it was something I already know, but was eye-opening and encouraging to hear it again. That the foundation of leading others is first leading yourself. And once you can lead yourself properly, leading others becomes much easier. So I picked up from that and so many things in terms of the conflict management. And then the 5 dysfunctions of the team were very, very, it was tiny. I mean, it's like, why am I sitting down with all these years? And so it's been very good programming. This is still something where I feel like it's just the beginning. I'm still going to go back, look at all the notes, discuss the Mac and his team very well, programmation. So it's something I will do close marking to. Again, I wouldn't mind if we had this maybe once a quarter. I mean, see, let's put it out. What can I organize? Once a quarter.
It doesn't have to be money.
If it's like maybe we can organize it.
There's actually a group that I did, Professor Konga, I did some work there, and now they have put a rope to my neck to have a structured coaching and mentoring program with them. And I just started. And it's free, because that's what I do. This is really who I am. It's not about money. So, but again, another matter for another day. No, so finish your own. Let's finish this conversation. Just finish.
So, I like to take advantage of everything as company has performed in this course. I think it's been very nice, like I said.